I personally will say I would hate to be the one making the decisions on which wide receivers get cut.
Keep 8. Like Sneaky
Yeah,
said, maybe
keep
keep
eight.
8.
I think eight or because I like a
You,
Smith Morset.
yeah, I mean, look,
Yeah, he's
Fortson's hurt, so you're only going to keep 3. You were going to keep 4 tight ends.
Yeah,
Now we're only going to keep 3.
Bushman was terrible
Right.
yesterday
So
outside that
I
touchdown.
and maybe I mean the running backs get a little iffy because you do. I mean, I think we could go Pacheco, McKinnon, and now
P Ryan.
P Ryan. Yeah, like
You want to do this now?
Prince. Maybe give Prince another year to on the practice. Give him a year on the
Yeah,
practice squad. See how
if
he
he
can.
lasts.
All right, so it's going to be 3 quarterbacks. We all know who they are.
Yeah.
It's going to be 4 running backs. Deneric Prince played himself back to the practice squad, so it's going to be P Ryan.
Wait, you say 4 running backs or 3 running backs?
4.
4. Who do you got? You got Clyde. Sorry, I'm forgetting Clyde Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
why?
as much as you might want it, it's going to be 7 wideouts, and that's nothing to be disappointed about because it'd be weird for Andy to keep 6, and he's definitely keeping 7.
There's too much talent, and there's just too much unknown because we're like
But
we still
Justin-
don't know who's going to rise to the top of that wide
Well,
receiver.
that and this it really gives them a lot of flexibility with Tony. Like there's no rush on him now.
Yeah. I think the injury to Jody Fortson has locked Justin Ross into a roster spot because he is doing something nobody else can do.
The injury to Fortson and the injury to Najee Johnson.
Yeah.
Like those two kind of paved the way for him to get a roster spot.
And that touchdown he had was in this game was beautiful. Exactly what you envision him doing, going up for the ball.
Yeah, he still needs a little more polish.
Yeah.
And it's just on the little things like he should have sold that PI call.
Yeah.
That was pass interference. And he could have done a lot more to sell that for the ref. But yeah, 7 wideouts, so we're at 14 on the offense now. So here's where it gets weird. It's going to be the initial roster is going to have 2 tight ends. It's going to be Kelsey and Gray. What they're going to do?
No Belldozer.
Do what now?
No Blake Bell. No Belldozer.
Hang on a second. So how that's going to work is they're going to right after they make the cuts and put out the official roster, they're going to move Tony to IR and put Bell back on the roster because they can do like a cut scenario where he's still protected, nobody can like come get him. So that's how that's going to work for one.
Yeah.
Bushman's probably going to go to practice squad.
Yeah.
But going to be 9 offensive linemen. You got your 5 starters, and then it's probably going to be Ryder, Prince Tega, Kennard, and Morris. Wanya Morris.
Wanya.
So that's 25 for offense.
Yeah.
And then your defense is going to have 11 defensive linemen. So Omeni Hughes, CJ, Noddy, Karloftis, Dana, Coburn, Herring, Thompson, Uzoma, Turk, and BJ Thompson. I think it's going to be 4 linebackers: Bolton, Gay, Tranquil, and Chanel. I think it's going to be 4 safeties: Reed, Cook, Edwards, and Bush. And I think it's going to be 5 corners: Sneed, McDuffie, Williams, Watson, and Nick Jones. Kalafi's going to go to the practice squad because I don't think anybody else knows about him.
Nick Jones, yeah.
And then your 3 specialists, and that's 53.
Do you think Boodle goes to the practice squad or gets claimed?
We might try to put it. I think
Boodle did look good.
He had a good game.
You can have on the practice squad.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean it's a good chance.
And
It's hard to
obviously,
kick out one of our
Practice
other
squad usually
safeties,
has
though.
quite a few corners on it.
and whenever you get the roster exemption, you get a roster exemption for
The third QB.
Omenahu.
Yeah,
he will
yeah.
go.
So I
So
think
that could be a potential Lucas Niang.
no, I think whenever it like as soon as Chris gets done, it's almost a guarantee that we're bringing back Dunlap
Yeah.
just because we have a real lack of quality defensive linemen.
I would love to bring back Carlos.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the Chiefs really want it. He hasn't signed anywhere.
Did he make an appearance in the the Swamp
No.
Kings?
No Carlos Dunlap.
Game.
They didn't even really
Okay,
mention
so
his ass, bro.
man,
It's
so
not
there
even
was
on here, but that was disappointing at times.
that the documentary. I know I would have watched it much sooner, but you guys watched it first and were like, and then I'm like, well, I'll watch it eventually, I guess.
I mean, you're a Florida fan, so you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, if it's just about those seasons, like I mean, I guess
Like
I
I
haven't
said,
gone back and
It goes a
re-looped it.
little bit outside of it, like this much outside of each season.
Okay.
The
But
third
it-
episode talks about the third episode talks about the off the field issues for about 9 minutes total.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I mean, they were leading up to it in the fourth episode.
Right back.
They don't even mention that there's a field that they're not on.
Because it's 06 to 09, right? You got like
Yeah.
championship, Heisman championship, and then like Tebow's last year.
Yeah, that's
And it's
the undefeated season up until Alabama.
something about,
the
that
Bishop
one.
Sycamore was pretty good.
I haven't
That
watched
one
that
was
one
up
yet.
there.
I kind of needed to step back after the Swamp Kings.
Yeah, no, Bishop Sycamore was pretty.
Uh,
I'm,
Hall of Shame,
Is-
if you haven't watched that on Netflix, was really good. About
that
Victor
one would be
Conti.
good. I don't
That
know if
one
we've
was really
given,
good.
as Bishop Sycamore, have we really given that story enough time to marinate? Like, are we gonna get everything from that? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot known.
is there, okay, are they
Yeah.
coming out with that one? Because maybe some of these sports documentaries, they're just like, let's cover this thing right after it happens. Or a lot of documentaries in general these days. And you're like, but you don't really get the full story normally until like a couple decades later when people
Like,
are
I
a lot
liked
more comfortable talking
I-
about it.
I liked the Victor Conti one because it was 90s, early 2000s that it
Right.
happened.
It's appropriate to do that now.
I think the Florida one was probably, I mean, you're covering 06 to 09. I mean,
Yeah.
it hasn't quite been 20 years, you're
Has it?
right, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also get the
I-
reason. Like I think I get the reasons why they did the BS one so quick
yeah,
because this guy's still trying to do it.
good
Like
God.
they have that main guy that's responsible for all of it in the documentary. He's like the most prominent one.
Right.
Yeah,
You see how fucking crazy this dude
Gotta
sounds
watch
like
that.
immediately.
the trailers make him look good.
I need
and
to watch that one, man.
I think they wanted it. The people who made it, I think they wanted it to serve as like a warning, like, hey, this guy is full of shit, and he
Hey.
Don't- yeah, do not
HBO
watch-
will do that shit. They did that shit to the Jinx. You remember that?
yeah.
They got that mofo arrested. They were like, mm-mm. What's that?
I mean, he got himself arrested.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
They
He
didn't-
did.
They didn't make
They
him go in
helped.
the urinal and start talking to his dick about how he murdered somebody.
No, but they helped.
Sure did. Okay. So that was the 53-man roster.
Ah,
The 53.
yeah.
All right. And
I
then
think
we go,
obviously Smith Marset is going practice squad.
but keep him around.
He's not gonna survive there.
Some other team's got to pick him up.
Yeah, he's
Some other team's gonna pick him up quick.
as a
Sucks. That's why you want to keep 8, man.
listen.
Maybe
Good.
you
The,
maybe trade Clay.
Wow.
the odds
Cut that one.
that Justin Ross is even going to make an impact this year are very low.
See, dude, like there's times where I think he might play more than Rasheed Rice.
P. Rice had an ugly drop.
I don't think
Ugly.
so.
He had an ugly preseason.
Rasheed Rice had some drops that you're just like,
And I think if he has those continuing in the early season, that'll play into Justin Ross's benefit.
yeah. Like
I mean,
Good.
last
I want to be excited about Rice. I really do. but like drops, my guy. But now maybe he cleans that up, clean that up, especially the wide open one that is just like, you cannot do that. You cannot
But,
do that.
but a guy like Smith Marset deserves to be on a team where he's got a shot to play.
I agree. I 100%
On this
agree.
team, he just wouldn't.
I totally agree. And maybe if he waits long enough and we realize that, because if we keep 7, one of those 7 may not be, and then we figure out which one that is, and then here you go, Smith Marset.
I mean, maybe
we'll
if
elevate you, put that other guy in the practice squad. If number 24 is not what we think still, and you're like, man, like
Like
you
Andy
got
Reid
rookies
is not
doing
gonna
better
get
than
us taking
you.
7 wide receivers.
What?
Andy Reid already doesn't like that we're taking 7 wide receivers. I guarantee you, he hates it.
I mean, it
hates
wouldn't
it.
be happening if
No.
Jody Fortson hadn't gotten hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, and it's a pure talent thing. Like,
It's hard to pick. It's hard to choose. Like I can't not have all these guys.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, there's nobody there you could cut and feel good about it. And
Right.
Smith
Yeah.
Marset, you can, because again, he would never see the field, and he deserves to be playing somewhere, not waiting and hoping somebody gets injured or sucks.
But it could one of those guys are gonna suck.
That'd be really good for us, but it's
One
really
of
bad
those-
for him.
One of those guys are gonna
Think of the
suck.
player, Sam. Think of the player.
I know.
Think of the
I
player.
know. That's
You're-
not what
you're thinking of the
organizations
Chiefs.
do, Sneaky. That's not what Brett Veach and Andy Reid are gonna do in that situation.
One thing I will say about the
They
Chiefs
are.
is the Chiefs play a lot of different receiver packages. Like if they got a player on the team, they're going to try, and he's worth playing, they're going to find a way to get him on the field.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't.
The problem is he's good, but he doesn't do anything that our other guys don't do.
Yeah,
We need Ross out there just because he's like
he's the big guy.
he can go up and get
Yeah,
some balls.
that's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
touchdown he had, he's shown good route running.
Like
For his size.
He'd be our only big guy.
Yes, and the Jody Fortson injury is really what I think hit the door for him because you don't have anybody else that replicates what he does.
No, I mean Travis Kelce, but
Jody
Well,
Fortson wasn't really doing what he was supposed to do. So
What's that?
the Jody Fortson wasn't really doing the things he was supposed to do.
That is absolutely right. And this is
not at all.
you think back at like players that Andy Reid has brought in since he's been here, like Kelvin Benjamin, Josh Gordon's, he's brought in bigger receivers
he's tried
to try
to bring
to
in some of those guys.
Yeah, he's tried to bring in bigger receivers since he's been here. So it makes sense that he wants
But
to
in his
carry at least
system-
one big one.
In his system, again, we've talked about this before. He's not a go up and get it type of. Yeah, that's not big in our system, right?
No, it's not. But maybe if you have
He's-
that guy who can do it, you need a
He
red
wants
zone
to-
threat.
He wants to scheme you open, which means you got to know how to run routes.
Matt Nagy did like those fade passes when he was with Chicago.
Yeah.
To Allen Robinson.
True. So maybe he's going to work some of those in there, especially
Yeah.
because, like, why not? If you got a guy who can do it really well,
Yeah.
why not? Pat, just put it up for him.
Yeah.
And-
We know Mahomes can throw it if Mitch Trubisky could hit a couple of them.
Right.
You know, Mahomes.
I don't think it's really even about his ability in the red zone. I mean, yeah, you can do that with him, but you can't ignore a dude that can create 2 or 3 yards of separation with one move.
Dude, yeah.
Again, route running.
That's what it's
system.
about. I think he probably needs to sharpen up those routes.
Yeah,
Like
but
the-
he's
Maybe.
Making the juke has nothing to do with running the route.
And there's
mean,
also a lot of just like knowing where to get open in a certain play, like where to sit in the zone, making good calls because sometimes there's going to be more than one route option, right? Like based on what the defense is doing, you could run this route or you could run this route. So you have to also kind of have
Yeah.
Yeah.
the head for it too with Andy's system. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's more than just,
I think he probably gets his feet wet, gets his foot in the door in the red zone, but
Yeah.
ultimately that's not the end goal for him.
no, you want him to be the complete package. This
I
dude
mean,
looks the part.
the end goal is usually getting the end
Yeah.
zone.
I think I like how he's run routes, and he's not been having Pat Mahomes out there much. He's had, I think, one target from Mahomes.
Yeah.
With the ones, but
Yeah,
I mean,
the way I'm looking at the wide receiver room right now is whatever happens this year, the goal should be the starting three should be Rice, Ross, and Sky next year.
You would like that.
Not in that particular order.
You
yeah.
would really like that.
Oh,
if
yeah.
that were the case, but
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. That should be the goal. And I'd be surprised if the Chiefs have a different goal.
Yeah,
get
obviously
your
they
young guys, right? All your young guys.
Yeah, I mean if Tony works out, great, but
yeah.
I think we all kind of know in our hearts how that this is going to end with him.
I appreciate
He's going to have
it.
some games, but
It was
Yeah.
worth it just for the Super Bowl.
oh sure,
Right.
Yeah.
So he's
I mean, we-
already paid off for us. You just hope we can get some more out of
We paid more for Sammy Watkins to do that in the playoffs and stuff, so
him.
I mean the goal with Tony right now has got to be to keep him healthy till the playoffs. He needs to do some
Yeah.
His legs are small.
Yeah, keep
You
him
know?
healthy till the playoffs.
Get healthy, buddy.
and then maybe in the offseason someone like T Higgins.
That would be dope, but
Who knows?
maybe you don't need that to look for that if you can develop
Yeah,
some
we
of
may
the-
not
you
even
got you got a good young group of guys to develop.
You do.
Young
you've got
dudes.
Andy Reid coaching him up, and
It's a
Pat Mahomes
fantastic
coaching
group.
him.
Like, I
So,
mean,
Yeah, the way to look at this is you only need one of these guys to pop. Out of these 7 dudes that we're really excited about.
mhm.
yeah, this is 8. I'm excited about 8 of them. Obviously, I know they can't all make the team, and I'm super excited about them all.
I mean, I guess you're not super excited about MVS or Justin Watson, but
Yeah,
they're
you're
the
right.
guys.
You're
Yeah.
right. Those are honestly, those
But
are the
those are
2
guys
dudes
that
I'd be
are-
most
Yeah, you're not
comfortable
looking
getting
at
rid of.
upside with them, like you know what they are.
Yeah, I would be more. I wouldn't be mad if they cut Justin Watson to keep
They really like
Smith
the guy.
Marset. I get it. He's a good special teamer. He's a decent receiver. But like Sneaky just mentioned, it's not
He
about
can
his
play-
upside.
He can play every receiver position too.
He can. I get the value of him, but I wouldn't be upset if he got cut and we kept.
There are times when
Marset.
when he looked really fucking good last year, and there are times when he looked a little subpar.
Yeah.
As well. So
He's had a good preseason and off season. So
yeah, and just he's got a year under his belt of Andy's system, and maybe this year he comes out. Anyways, a little more consistent.